ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Payam Kawicham, the people of the West, known as the Luiseños today. Since time immemorial, the Ataxum lived in harmony with the land and were stewards of their natural environment. We honor their history and their continued presence in their native land and pay respects to the Luiseño as they continue to be a vital force in our region. Along with this effort of acknowledgement, we strive to develop a deeper understanding and appreciation for the Luiseño people. And now you can turn your attention to Dave and Jaime here for the prelude song. Nice, Dave. Thank you. Welcome again, everybody. My name is Josh. I'm the Associate Minister here at Pilgrim. Lovely to see everybody here this morning. And we have a lot going on. Okay, so I know this time for announcements can be like, oh God, let's just get through announcements. But this is a good thing, people. We got a lot going on. So I need audible confirmation from you this morning that you are ready for this. Are you ready to hear this? That's what I like to hear. All right. Good Samaritan offering this month is going towards the Equal Justice Initiative. EJI is committed to ending mass incarceration and excessive punishment in the U.S., and a lot of that stems around racial injustice, so please give generously to that. They visited the Legacy Museum and the memorial associated with that on the Civil Rights Pilgrimage just recently. Wonderful work that they're doing, so please give generously. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? There is a special congregational meeting next Sunday after church, but after this Sunday after church, there is something called a CIS sheet. Everybody know what that is? Yes, crickets for the most part. If you would like to learn how to read one of those, if you're like me and you see numbers and you get dizzy and almost pass out, Fred is going to be leading a special thing after service for you to read what all those numbers mean, what you're going to be seeing and interpreting next week at the meeting to get you better informed and better engaged. We would love for you to do that, so please take advantage of that opportunity. We have tamales after service today, so I hope you will stay and hang out with us after that. Mario has great stuff. Get a little coffee, tamales, and we also have the Environmental Justice Team meeting if you're interested in taking part in that. They will be working on prepping for each Christmas. We're continuing the tradition this year of the Regiftmas, so minimizing our impact on the environment during Christmas time by regifting gently used or new items that you can find and lessen your carbon footprint, so to speak. So if you would like to attend that, more than welcome. All are welcome there. Women's Connection Day, Saturday the 25th. Is Jill here? Okay, you can just see Jill after service if you're interested in Women's Connection Day coming up. And Erica, would you like to come up? Erica has started a new nonprofit, everybody, and it's very special, and I would love for you to hear about it, so I'll let her tell.
Hi folks, I'm Erica Ellis. I'm a veterinarian at Academy Animal Hospital in Solana Beach, and so in that hospital there's a small building where I'm starting a wildlife hospital. And it took 9 months to get all the permits together and the enclosures. So now, in order to open, I just need volunteers. What that would mostly consist of is about an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening every day of the week. So I have 3 of those shifts covered, and I need the other ones covered, and mostly what you'd be doing would be feeding animals and cleaning their enclosures. But if that's not something that you can do, there's a lot of other things that I would need. Like if you're a birder, I would love to be able to consult with you, like, what is this bird? If you knit little baby hats for me, those would be a great place for the little squirrels and bunnies when they come in and they don't have a mom and they need something to snuggle and to be cozy in. If you're good at web design, if you're a plumber, I really need that. So there's a lot of room for that. So you can fill out an interest form at shalomwildlifehospital.org, or you can talk to me when I'm getting tamales.
Thank you, Erica. And Mark, would you like to make an announcement as well? All right.
Okay, just a reminder, this Tuesday is food distribution. We don't have a lot of our regulars have said they won't be able to be there, so we do need volunteers. So if you wanted to come out for any particular food distribution, this would be a good one to come out. We're especially missing runners, the people who just take the carts with the food in it out and to the people in the cars. So it needs to be mobile. But if you want to volunteer, you would be there by 9:30 or 12:30. My wife will lead an introduction or a briefing on what food distribution is. So if you haven't done it before, she will give a newcomer's briefing at 9:30 and at 12:30. And if you want to come just for the distribution itself, we ask you to please be there by 12:45. We start distributing food at 1, but at 12:45 we give a task briefing to say, okay, what is everybody's tasks during the actual distribution? So we do ask people to get there a little bit like about 12:45 rather than just at 1 o'clock, because at 1 o'clock everything goes crazy. So actually it gets crazy earlier when we're bagging up too. So please volunteer, come out at Tuesday. It's a big thing. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Mark. And you can see him after service. You would like to volunteer. And Jaime, would you like to make an announcement? And if you would mention Dia de los Muertos too. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Jaime Romo, Minister for Healing and Healthy Environments. Imagine some of you may have, if not in person, seen videos of ICE agents pulling people out of cars, perhaps, taking from courthouses, perhaps at schools. Has anyone ever been followed by ICE? So the other day, I was just driving down 5, and it wasn't ICE, it was a big sheriff car, but it pulled up behind me and followed me for a bit. I'm a hospice chaplain, so I got off the freeway to visit my patient, but I thought, I can think I'm in a bubble, right? Because I'm a professional, because I've got other resources. But I'm a part of a group, and several pilgrims are here, North County Solidarity Committee, and they've been really working to find resources, education, and help families prepare in the event that someone is taken. And there's a Vista Council meeting. Last month, they passed an initial proposal to reinforce due process and safety within the city. Several cities are doing this. It reinforces state law. November 18th is going to be the council meeting, a special meeting, where they vote to implement that. And it's nothing radical, it's state law. It's basically, you have to have credentials. You can't enter places without authorization. So I invite anyone, and we'll know about it more in the future, but to attend. because it should not appear to be only people who are brown attending these meetings and advocating for justice and due process. The other thing is this Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we're going to begin our celebration of Dia de los Muertos, which is traditionally like a month-long experience of just not about death, it's about life and the connection we have with our loved ones who passed. And so we'll have an opening gathering here to build the altar, and the altar won't be here, will be available for the 2 Sundays. After the service on November 2nd, we'll, after the service, have a way to take the altar down. It's been really beautiful. Has anybody attended in the past? Yeah, it's really a beautiful celebration, so I invite you all to join.
Awesome. Thanks, Jaime. Before we go any further, I forgot to mention, Madison is actually at the board meeting for Union Theological Seminary. He's on the board there. So that is where he's at this Sunday. He will be back here next Sunday. And so looking forward to having Madison back. And at this time, I want to direct your attention to the video. We have a new documentary screening coming up. I think it'll interest you, so hope you enjoyed this.
My focus here is migrants and helping them and ensuring that they don't die on the desert.
The Supreme Court has temporarily blocked the lifting of this pandemic-era immigration policy that is known as Title 42.
The pandemic-era policy allows the U.S. government to prevent migrants from entering the United States and expels those who do cross in the name of coronavirus prevention.
What is causing all of this upheaval in these countries?
Hate.
And is violence. See the guy that's right there on the street, right here? He's the lookout for the cartels.
This wall is really only 2.5, 3 years old. You can see the erosion here, and this is $43 billion a mile with gaps every half a mile or so. Somos amigos!
It's too damn cold today, isn't it?
Look at this.
Underwear.
Underwear. It's a child's.
Among the bodies recovered, a 5-year-old girl who was swept out of her mother's arms last month.
Finding a deceased individual was horrible. He was just on his back with his hands in supplication. All of the red dots are where bodies have been found. It just boggles my mind, the journey that they have to make. I mean, we have friends who do not agree with this at all. Yet you find somebody, you have to turn them in, you have to do this, that, and the other thing. Well, I don't go along with that at all.
We get overrun every day by the cartels, the criminals, the drugs.
Who's using the drugs? It's not the people south of the border, for the most part. It's our insatiable appetite. And you can only imagine how frightened they must be and how easy it is to get discombobulated out here. So I'm surrounded by people who don't like what I'm doing.
When your goal in life is to hate, you rot from within.
See you later, hon. Bye-bye.
Shura kind of has this aura around herself of just joy and happiness. They immediately see kind of a Mother Teresa-like figure that's going to be there for them and guide them and give them strength.
Also, I want you all to know I have a black belt in karate.
All right, I'd like to invite our buddy Steve up to tell us a little bit more about this screening coming up at his church, Bethlehem Lutheran. So thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thanks so much, Josh, and thanks for the opportunity to be here to talk about this. So some of you may have recognized this because this was shown here. This particular documentary called Shura was shown here, and it's by a guy named David Figueroa. And he came here about, 6 months ago, Josh? And did a screening of this, as well as another documentary called The Cross Man, both short documentaries. And what he's done is he has expanded that. His plan all along was to do a longer documentary that included these stories plus a lot of other stories about his organization, which is called the Green Valley Samaritans. It's in Arizona, near the border. It's one of the most deadly border crossings in the United States, and his organization is out there every day, leaving food, medical supplies, doing whatever they can to save lives. And so this is the expanded version of it. So when I was here, and my wife and I were here, and we saw that presentation and kind of walked away, I'm involved in doing activities around migrant support within our church, Bethlehem Lutheran in Encinitas, and we're looking for ways to engage our congregation more. How can we get people to kind of step out of their day-to-day and be kind of aware of what's happening and do more? We want to expand what we're trying to do. And frankly, your church is a bit of it's an inspiration to us, because you're doing so much already. And again, we do things too, but we're trying to do more and expand that. So this was an opportunity. Josh was nice enough to connect me with David. The new documentary was coming out, and we thought this is a great opportunity to see the entire screening of this documentary and also continue that conversation. So I'm here really just to invite all of you to come to that, to continue again that conversation, and to just be a part of it. It's next week. It's the 26th at Bethlehem Lutheran in Encinitas, which is on Belor. There's going to be some pamphlets, flyers that Chris actually has to hand out to you afterwards if you're interested, and I think it's in your bulletin as well. So please, if you're interested, please come. There'll be some food there. It's from 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Be kind of the same format. We're going to show that about an hour long, and then there'll be some conversation and some Q&A afterwards. And just the last thing I want to say is, as I was thinking, I actually went to a concert last night, John McCutcheon, which some of you may have seen John McCutcheon before, and he quoted C.S. Lewis saying something that I had heard before, but not for a long time, saying people need to be reminded more than they need to be instructed. And I thought about that as it relates to this, because I've been thinking about this as education. Like, we need to educate people, tell them what's going on, make sure they know what's going on. And that quote really reminded me that that's part of it, for sure. You'll learn and you understand more, but more than anything, it's a reminder of our humanity, the humanity of these people who are coming across the border, that it's not just these people we hear about that are criminals, and that who these people really are and what they're experiencing every day. It's a reminder of our responsibility as a Christian community to not turn a blind eye, and to see these people and to try and find ways to make this better. And then finally, just the inspiration of particularly these volunteers that they're profiling, that everybody can do a little, or everybody can do something, and you don't have to be changing the world every day. If you're just doing small things to save a few lives, that can make a difference. And so that's really, to me, what this is about for us. And anyway, again, thank you. Next week, 26th, between 4 and 6. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Steve. That's awesome. I hope all of us can attend that. Such a good presentation, and David Damien's a great individual, so I think you'll be inspired by his work. At this point, let's stand up, greet our neighbors, get the wiggles out, and we'll get the show on the road.
Join us in the welcome song up on the screen. You are welcome here, no matter who you are, no matter where you are on life's journey. You are welcome here, no matter who you are. Come and join with us. We're united in the Church of Christ. We're united in the Church of Christ.
Good morning. I'm Beth Urick, and I will be your liturgist today. The congregational affirmation, please join me. We are an open and affirming community within the United Church of Christ, with a progressive theology, a commitment to spiritual growth, and a passion for social justice. And now, the call to community. We come to this place carrying our own stories of struggle, grace, and of wrestling in the dark. We come We are a limping people, but we are not a defeated people. We have struggled and survived. We have seen the face of God in one another. We will walk together into the dawn, blessed, beloved, and changed. And now, the morning hymn, 472, Precious Lord, Take My Hand. Please stand as you are able.
We're calling an audible. You may be seated. There was a little scheduling mishap with the hymn, so we are going to go straight to children's sharing time. Ken, I will give the floor to you.
So, come on up, guys. A mouse book? We got a giraffe. It's bigger than a mouse. Oh, wow. Is this it? Oh, good. Here comes some more. Hi. Well, I am so glad to be here with you guys again today. I got to do last week, and I don't know if you saw that or were here, but you know, Leo the lion got some help from the guys that were here and his friend Mickey to learn that God made him just the way he was, and that was what he was supposed to fully be. So, good. Oh, some more people. I brought a book today that's kind of a follow-up, but there's two reasons for sharing this book. And one of them is about yesterday. Does anybody know what yesterday was? It was Saturday. That is absolutely right.
Yesterday we went to the Halloween party.
You went to a Halloween? That's good because it's coming up Halloween, huh?
And we had
Oh boy. Fun, fun. Well, a lot of people, did any of you go to a No Kings protest?
We wanted to.
Oh, you wanted to. Well, how many of these big kids went to it? Look at that. Look at how many people went to a No Kings protest. Why would we protest against kings? Everybody wants to be their own leader, right? And sometimes kings or dictators or rulers can think they're the boss of everybody. Say it again. Yep. So, I mean, some kings, like Cinderella, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, all had dads that were kings. They weren't bad guys. And England has a king, King Charles. But does he tell everybody in England what to do and how they're supposed to be and throw people in the dungeon if they're not? No. They have a parliament, like our Congress, who represents all of the people and helps make the rules fairly for all of us. But right now, we have a leader who would like to be a king or a dictator, and he's telling lots of people that it's not okay to be who we are, and he's telling lots of people that they better do what he wants or they're going to be in trouble. So anyway, this book is called Giraffes Can't Dance. You don't think they can dance? Well, we'll find out. Remember Leo, the lion? Everybody thought he had to be a lion and roar and wear these rough clothes and stuff. Did he want to do that? Do you know what he wanted to do? He wanted to dance. So, giraffes can't dance. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold a jungle dance where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. See the sign? It says, what does it say? Jungle dance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad because when it came to dancing, well, he was really rather bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rocked and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps did a cha-cha in a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor, but the lions saw him coming, and they soon began to roar. Hey, hey, look at that clumsy Gerald. All the animals sneered. Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird. How do you think Gerald's feeling right now? Really sad, right? Really sad, because people are saying things that are bad about him, right? Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. They're right, he thought, I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot. So he crept off from the dance floor and started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before, so sad and all alone. Then he found a little clearing, and he looked up at the sky. The moon can be so beautiful, he whispered with a sigh. Excuse me, coughed the cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on. But sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song. Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald, felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hoofs started shuffling, and he was making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. He threw his legs out sideways, and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backflip, word somersault, and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. I am dancing. Yes, I'm dancing. I am dancing, Gerald cried. How do you think he's feeling now? Happy. He's good. Yeah, really good and happy. Then one by one, each animal who'd been there at the dance arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We all can dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." You know, I think God spoke to Gerald. Do you know how and where? What do you think it was that helped Gerald find his true inner self? That he could, that he made him dance, right? Remember when he looked up at the moon and heard all those wonderful things in nature? I think that was God telling Gerald that he was just fine and that he could dance in his own way. Do you think that could be true? Yeah. All of us have our own way of dancing and being in the world, and that's important. That's our gifts to the world. Thanks for being so patient. This was a long thing. Have fun today.
Join me in the unison prayer of invocation. Holy One, you meet us in the night of our wrestling and in the dawn of our becoming. Hold us in your love, bless our questions, and make this gathering a place of courage, healing, and grace. Amen. We use the mindfulness, mindfulness bell to spend a few moments in introspection and gratitude.
This is the point in the service where we do joys and concerns. So if you have a joy to share with the community, a concern God, as we continue to just struggle through this life, pray that we are struggling together, and through that, you are also struggling right with us, right alongside us, and that every moment, no matter how difficult, can give way to grace and gratefulness and compassion. And we pray this in your name. Amen.
God will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of God's hand.
I will be putting in a couple of parentheticals to make something clear here. This text finds Jacob alone at the river Jabbok on the eve of reuniting with his estranged brother Esau. In the darkness, he wrestles through the night with a mysterious figure, described only as a man, later revealed as divine, maybe an angel. Jacob is wounded yet blessed, renamed Israel, meaning one who strives with God. The story makes a turning point in Jacob's life and historically in Israel's identity. Transformation through struggle, blessing through vulnerability, and encounter with the divine in the midst of uncertainty. Hear the ancient voices in Genesis 32, verses 22 through 31. The same night he got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 maids, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and likewise everything that he had. Jacob was left alone, and a being, wrestled with him until daybreak. When that man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he struck him on the hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then that man said, "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." So he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then the man said, "You shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with humans and have prevailed." Then Jacob asked, "Please tell me your name." But he said, "Why is it that you ask my name?" And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the place Peniel, which means the face of God, saying, "For I have seen God face to face, yet my life is preserved." The sun rose upon him as he passed Peniel, limping because of his hip. Here ends the reading.
I've been running all my life, chasing empty things, straying to the left and right, skinning up my knees. Lord, leave the light on for me, I don't know how long I'll be taking the long way, taking the long since I'm being honest now. Well, I'll get this off my chest. Between all of these goddamn doubts, well, I don't have much faith left. Well, I'm just talking to air. I need some proof that you're there. Taking the long way, taking the long way, taking the long way home. Learning the hard way, living the heartache, taking the long way home. I would leave that light on for me, and to help you believe heaven left on all the back roads like sheep, taking the long way, taking the long way, taking the long way home, taking the long way, taking the long way, taking the long way home, taking the long way.
Right on. Thank you, guys. I think iPads are a gift of the devil. Let's see. I think I got it here, Nick. There we are. Oh. Let's keep it there. Okay. Weird question. Raise your hand if you are a fan of professional wrestling. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're in the house. I was gonna say, I know Freddie is. We've talked about that before for sure. I thought about him preparing this message. Professional wrestling. Growing up, not so much anymore, I still appreciate it, but growing up, I was a massive professional wrestling fan. Back when it was WWF or WCW, had the two conglomerates there. It was a wonderful time to be alive, let me tell you. Forget Hulk Hogan. We don't need to talk about Hulk Hogan. I was into like Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, oh yeah, right? Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, Goldberg, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and of course, yes, my personal favorite, Sting, the man, Sting. He was my guy. Every week, every single week, the neighborhood kids would get together. We would watch wrestling. Of course, we would wrestle each other in our makeshift wrestling ring in the basement. It was just good, clean fun. And one of the greatest Christmas gifts that we ever got as kids was tickets to WCW Monday Night Nitro, circa 1998. That's me on the right there. That's my kid brother, CJ. That was our buddy, Nick. And that was such a great moment for us, like to just go and see all of our heroes live, you know what I mean? It was a great, great moment. We were absolutely pumped, as you can see. And now, even as a kid, of course, we knew this was all scripted, right? This was completely made up. It was completely entertainment. We knew this, but we loved it anyways because there was a story that was being performed. There was a story to each wrestler or team. There was a story to each of their angles, their friendships, their enemies, their injuries, and their title dreams, right? Wrestling, even today, is admittedly an absolute spectacle. It is a spectacle of entertainment. And it is no wonder why it is still so popular today, perhaps even more than ever, is because our world is absolutely obsessed with spectacle. As we saw yesterday with some of the demonstrations, not only just No Kings, but at Pendleton and everything else, the world loves spectacle. We live in a world that loves spectacle, and in professional wrestling, this is no more true. There are heroes, villains, there's entrance music, there's finishing moves, it's all drama, it's all performance, it's all about domination and winning and punishment and just, power. It's an absolute spectacle. So, Genesis 32 now. When we get to Genesis 32, you like that transition? Genesis 32 gives us a very different kind of wrestling match. There's no audience, there's no spotlight, there's no stadium. It's just Jacob alone by the river in the dark. No ring announcer, no music, no cheering crowd. It's just the sound of water and the struggling of two bodies in the night with some mysterious being, as Peter read earlier. Biblical interpreters have long wrestled, much like Jacob himself. You like that pun? Thanks, Beth, for noticing that. Biblical interpreters have often wrestled with what this story actually means and what the heck is going on here. The Etz Hayim commentary, it's right back there, actually, our Jewish friends use it in the foyer, notes that the man, quote unquote, that Jacob struggles with in this text has been understood in many ways. Some classical commentators imagine this man as this hostile spirit, perhaps even like his brother Esau's guardian angel that he's wrestling with, sent to oppose Jacob. Still others read the story inwardly, Jacob wrestling with his own conscience, his own self, confronting his own guilt and his own fear, and emerging, yes, a changed man, made whole, who can finally see the face of God. And of course, some scholars also believe this is kind of a mythical explanation for why Israel's descendants historically avoid eating the thigh muscle of animals. Such a wide range of meaning there, right? It's all over the place, what people get from this story. It's a mysterious one. It's a very mysterious story, but it is about transformation and struggle. It's not clear at all who Jacob is actually wrestling with. The Hebrew doesn't actually say. It just calls his opponent someone. Some translations, like we read today, say a man. Others say an angel. The text refuses to clarify. It's very mysterious. And that, my friends, is the point. That's the point. Because when you wrestle with the mystery of the sacred, of the divine, it's never that clear. Sometimes you're wrestling with your fear. Sometimes you're wrestling with your past. Sometimes you're wrestling with your own reflection in the mirror. Sometimes, by some mystery, perhaps you're wrestling with God. The turning point in the story, though, comes when Jacob finally says his own name. Someone asks, what is your name? And he stands up and says it. Jacob, I am Jacob. It sounds simple. But it was honestly a challenge for our buddy Jacob. Because his name, for the biblical scholars out there, his name means supplanter or deceiver. He was a tricky little booger, even from the womb, grabbing his brother's heel, trying to get first dibs at the eldest son. The grabber is another way to translate that. To speak that aloud, to speak his name in this story, was kind of an act of confession, almost, if not proclamation. And in the wrestling match of life, we all have to say our own names at some point in this same way. We have to face who we've been. We have to face what we've done, what we've avoided, who we've hurt, who we're becoming. That, my friends, is when the wrestling, the spectacle, can actually turn holy. That's when the blessing begins to take shape. And there's another kind of wrestling that our world understands all too well. And as I said, it's kind of part of that spectacle. It's this kind of wrestling that expects to win, to dominate, to control, to pin down, and take control of life. We see this everywhere. Do we not? We see this in politics, yes. We see this on social media, and my goodness, we actually see it in the church. Everyone wants to pin everyone else down with their own views, their own beliefs, their own ways that they think things should be done. Everyone wants to be right. Everyone wants to dominate. Everyone wants to, forgive me for the image, do the divine elbow drop from the top rope. 1, 2, 3, match over. That's the world that we live in. To lay the smack down, if you will, for those of you who actually got that. That was a rock reference. Had to put it in there. Everyone wants to just put the divine elbow drop down, whoever we disagree with. But here's the deal. God doesn't do flying elbow drops from the top rope. God's not about the 1, 2, 3 count match over. God's not about that kind of control. God wrestles differently. God's power is not coercive. It's relational. God doesn't come to crush us. God comes to engage us. One of my favorite philosophers ever said that God is the fellow sufferer who understands. In other words, when we struggle, when we are wrestling with this sometimes bleak and dark life, God struggles with us. When we wrestle, God wrestles with us, not against us. God is not our opponent in this ring of life. God is the presence that refuses to let us go. God is also the inspiration inside us that refuses to let go. When things get hard and we refuse to let go without a blessing to walk away from it. At the end of this match, Jacob is wounded. His hip's out of joint. He'll limp for the rest of his life, and we call this a blessing. We call this a blessing. Now, before I go any further, I would like to highlight something here. I want to pause. I'm going to recognize that for many people in this room, that language of a limp or disability, that language of wounding, carries very personal and physical weight. So I want to say this, and I want to say that I don't mean to suggest that physical disability is somehow a punishment or even this mystical badge of honor that you get from God. That's not the story. The story of Jacob's limp is not about romanticizing pain or turning pain into some life lesson or metaphor, okay? It's beyond that. It's about the reality that we all live in a very fragile, changing body. And that God is no less present in any one of our bodies than the other. God is all present with us. God is not the cause of our suffering. God is our companion through that struggle. And yet the story still calls this a blessing. So why? Why a blessing? He's given a new name, Israel. One who strives, or one who struggles with God. Madison talked last week about the significance of new names and getting a new name. Jacob goes from the grabber or the deceiver to one who struggles with God. It's quite the shift, and it's much better, don't you think? Yet it comes with a cost. The limp and the blessing, the text seems to suggest, go together. You don't get one without the other. But remember, the wound is not the sign of a divine punishment. It's a sign of an encounter. The wound is a sign of not letting go and not quitting, of being changed. Israel becomes the descendant of many. The wound is that now the community's scar, the trace encounter with the divine. Those wounds aren't erased, but they are transformed and potentially even redeemed. And so our own limps, our own wounds, our own scars that we carry through this life, they're not disqualifying for us. They are marks of grace. They are marks of how the world knows that we have actually been in the struggle. They are how the world knows that we've been with God and we have refused to let go until we got that blessing of change, until we got that new name, that new direction, that new creation, as Madison referenced last week. Even, yes, if a limp came with it. And this all happens in the dark where you can't see clearly, where you can't control the outcome. And we tend to think of darkness as this absence, this place where God is not. But I've been reminded in the last couple of weeks, and I'm reminded also in the Hebrew imagination and the Christian one too, that darkness is in fact the place of creation. That darkness is the place of new creation. It's the womb, it's not the tomb. The dark deep of Genesis is where the Spirit moves, where God is most creative, where the world comes into being and is breathed into being. And I know all of us, to some degree or another, have been wrestling lately. We've heard it in Joys and Concerns. We've seen it in everything going on around us, everything going on, what that does within us. We're all wrestling. We're all struggling in some point or another, in this uncertainty, in this exhaustion, in this doubt. And it doesn't mean that God has left us. God has not left you. It might just mean we're standing on holy ground. Because the dark is where transformation begins. In the story, the sun rises. Jacob limps across the river. He's no longer the same man. He's faced his own past. He's faced some divine mystery. Faced himself. And the part where we forget in the story, he actually, after this encounter, goes and, yes, faces his enemy, his older brother Esau. The brother he betrayed, the one he feared. And instead of vengeance, Esau accepts and embraces him. And maybe that's what this story is about all along. Not victory, not power, not certainty, but relationship. The healing of estranged brothers, the healing of divided nations, the healing perhaps even of our own fragmented selves. And if Jacob limps away blessed, maybe the church needs a little limp to walk away blessed too. Maybe our wounds, both the ones that we carry and the ones we have inflicted, are not things to hide, but to heal through, to continue to struggle through. Maybe faith itself, in general, is learning to walk with a limp, to move forward more humble, maybe slower, but more true. Maybe our call is not to actually win the match, but to keep wrestling until the dawn breaks. That's an unattractive option to many of us this morning because we're so freaking tired. We already feel as though we've been wrestling for so long, and as we've said, there is plenty in this world nowadays to wrestle with. So why wrestle if we can't win? We don't wrestle to win. We wrestle to live. We wrestle to survive, and we wrestle to change. This is actually one of my very favorite paintings on this text, and it's by Rembrandt. See if it shows up there. If not, you've seen it already. It's the one earlier. There it is. That's by Rembrandt. He painted Jacob's struggle in this story. And he didn't paint it as a battle, but it kind of looks like an embrace, doesn't it? Two figures clinging to each other in shadow and in light both. It's hard to tell in the painting like who's holding who, and maybe that's the point. Maybe wrestling with God is not about defeating or escaping God, but about holding on long enough to come away changed. I hope that's an inspiration to you this morning. Because if you find yourself wrestling in the dark, if your hip is sore, whether literally or figuratively, and your spirit is tired, and if the night just kind of feels a little bit endless, and the blessing seems far away, this is your reminder to hold on. This is your reminder to hold on and keep wrestling and keep struggling. Because you're not wrestling against God, you're wrestling with God. You're not abandoned, you're accompanied. God is with you. I am with you. We have each other's back here. And I'm here to tell you and remind you that the dawn will come. The dawn will come. And when it does, you might have a little bit of a limp, but you also might have a new name. And we call that love, we call that blessing, we call that change. And I don't know about you, but I'm here for it. So let the people of God say, amen.
Each gift to this community, each act of generosity helps love take flesh both here and beyond. Let us give that others may also find the dawn breaking.
And you're welcome to join at any point if you know this song. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not thing. You say I am strong, and I think I am weak. You say I am held, when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my destiny. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. Oh, you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short. And when I don't belong, oh, you say I am yours. And I believe, oh, I believe what you say of me. I believe, yes, I believe, yes, I believe what you say of me. I believe.
Let us pray. O Lord, please accept our offering today in gratitude. We are thankful that we could protest yesterday peacefully for our democracy, for justice, and for peace. Amen.
For the benediction today, I read a quote this morning by Mary Oliver, wonderful poet. She says, "It is a serious thing just to be alive on this fresh morning in this broken world." So, my friends, seize this day. May your own God wrestlings be deep, honest, and relentless. Amen.